Hey guys, what's up? It's the Chinnist. Today is April 4th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 19 with 14 different titles. So I was able to read through the stack. So we're going to start off this week with Marvel and the long-awaited Red Goblin. So I was able to pick up, this is cover A, picked up two more cover A's, and this was a connecting variant. I think this was like C, I believe, variant number C. So yeah, I picked up all the other variants last week on Midtown, so I should get those by Saturday. So the long-awaited, yeah, so there's been a lot of speculation which issues, and of course all these previous issues have all shot up. Title I typically do not pick up, but you know, I've been picking this one up because it was so hot, been reading through these issues. Great storyline, a lot of great action in this overall story arc, or in Amazing Spider-Man so far in general. But yeah, man, this one issue was pretty good in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and spoil the Red Goblin. So if you want to read through it yourself and see Red Goblin first time yourself, you know, please skip. But here we go. You got the full page splash here. So yeah, pretty cool. So Red Goblin finally appears within the interior art. Of course, there's another, I forgot which issue, what number it came out, but he was on a full cover variant. And I forgot what number that was, but I guess that's accredited to the first appearance. Alright, next up from Marvel, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I picked this one up just to see if there's any additional info. Man, I should have thumbed through this one at the store, because this was straight up retelling. This is the second half of the last Ant-Man movie. I did not notice anything, and I have not seen that movie in a while, but I did not notice any additional dialogue or any additional scenes whatsoever. And the very end was exactly like the movie where they showed off her outfit. So yeah, no new content in this one. A little disappointing. Alright, next up from Marvel, Astonishing XMen. Love all the X-Men titles out there right now. Love them all. You know, they go up and down, you know, month to month, you know, as far as where we are in the story arc, as far as how exciting it is, or just, you know, storytelling building. But overall, man, all the X-Men titles out there are phenomenal in my opinion. So if you've been looking to jump into X-Men, man, now's the time. I would go pick up all the titles out there and trade, in my opinion. So yeah, so here we are dealing, I forget what the villain that they're fighting, I forgot what his name was, but he has, you know, mind-altering type of powers. And within the city, he gave every single human in there the power to do the exact same. So everyone's kind of making like their own universes, and you know, pretty cool artwork, you know, a lot of heavy, dense collages, because everyone has like their own take, you know, a lot of dragons, a lot of fantasy type of artwork, you know, kind of going on in the background here in this one issue. But yeah, good fighting, great issue, good artwork. So yeah, Astonishing X-Men. Alright, next up, Avengers. So this is part number 13 of 16, so we're coming close to the end of the No Surrender story arc that's going on right now. So again, I'm trying to pick this one up purely in trade, because I want to read the entire storyline together. But picking up the single issues just because it's so hot. So, you know, kind of aware, you know, a little bit kind of, you know, what's going on without any spoilers. But, you know, you have, I forgot what her name was, but she's kind of explaining, you know, everyone's finding out that she was not part of the original Avengers team, you know, that she kind of implanted all the memories in there. Kind of, you know, explaining why and kind of, you know, going through that. But again, I'm going to try to hold off and read everything all together. So yeah, Avengers. Alright, next up, all new Wolverine. So yet another title I typically do not pick up. I started hearing that they're going to kind of show off old woman Wolverine, and kind of curious, you know, the Gabby versus Laura Kinney, you know, who was going to be who. But yeah, pretty cool issue here. You know, this kind of starts off as it's in the future, obviously. And they kind of show you, you know, what Gabby is doing. You know, she kind of picked up the moniker of the Wolverine, while Laura Kinney is kind of, you know, she's kind of aged, and this is kind of like an old man Hawkeye, old man Logan. You know, something's going on, her health is failing her, and she wants to go on one last mission and go kill someone, you know, just like old man Hawkeye. So yeah, pretty cool storyline. You know, I'm going to pick this one up all in trade, but I wanted to pick this one up just to kind of figure out like who was going to be the old woman Wolverine here. Alright, next up, X-Men Gold. So again, just went on a little rant of all the X-Men that are out there. So yeah, very good fight scene here in this one, and great artwork, man. Really love the artwork here in this one issue. So again, you know, half the team is over in jail. The other half is kind of out and about. But overall, great storyline. You know, again, try to pick up all the X-Men titles right now, in my opinion. All right, so we got a little one-shot. You know, this kind of ties into the overall Infinity Stones that are kind of going on right now. So this was like a little one-shot of the Avengers. You know, pretty good stuff. So you know, you have the blue gem, which is in Shards, and so they're kind of picking up all the little pieces. And you know, so this was a pretty good, you know, single issue action, you know, just like a one-off mission. So, you know, pretty cool to see that again, kind of like a, you know, like a cartoon episode of the Avengers in a sense. But yeah, pretty good action that kind of happens here. It's a, you know, standalone. You do not have to pick this one up to kind of figure out what's going on in the storyline at all. So if you're looking for a little Avengers, you know, one shot, here you go. Pretty good action. All right, next up, Venomized. So I followed, you know, Cullen Bunn was the artist, I'm sorry, the writer in all of the Edge of Venomverse, Venomverse, and Venomized. And overall, man, I think he did a really good job of, you know, so I followed it from the very beginning. And, you know, as I said in previous videos, I'm a little bit Venom out right now. But this is still a good storyline, man. It went, you know, all the way back to the very beginning of Edge of Venomverse, and it's really all tied in. And again, Cullen Bunn did a really good job overall on this overall story arc. Now, I just wish I was not a little burned out on Venom right now, because I would have enjoyed this even more. But again, he did a really good job in my opinion. So I am going to pick this one up. I am going to continue, to tell you the truth. So yeah, Venomized #1. All right, next up from Marvel, Star Wars. You know, as I said before, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know, I would really suggest to go pick this one up just to get those little extra storylines that are out there. Of course, this is all canon, and they really do a great job of tying in like all the movies, all the animated series, every single item that's out there that's actually canon is covered in the Star Wars titles, man. So yeah, great job of the storytelling overall. This one issue had some pretty good, some pretty decent action that went on in this one issue. But again, if you're into Star Wars, I would suggest to go pick up the trades. Okay, next up, I actually picked up two of these somewhat accidentally. So yeah, so this is Deathstroke #30, and this started the Deathstroke versus Batman. And what you have here in this one story arc is the possibility, you know, so there's DNA data that's out there that that kind of starts linking that Damian's father is not Bruce Wayne, but is actually Deathstroke's. And of course, Bruce Wayne did his own DNA testing when you know, Talia al Ghul kind of came to like, hey, here's your son. So he did do testing, but you know, these lab reports kind of say the opposite. So yeah, pretty cool storyline so far, and there's pretty good action that happens in this one issue so far as well. So I'm not a big Deathstroke fan, but man, this I'm into Damian and I'm into Batman. So yeah, pretty good stuff. They really kicked this one off pretty well. So I'm going to go for this entire story arc here. All right, next up from DC, we have Justice League. So Priest came on to start writing the storyline here, and you know, in my opinion, I know there's a lot of mixed reviews out there. In my opinion, he's doing a great job. I've really enjoyed the Justice League story arc so far that he kind of picked up and owned. I know that they're going to be rebooting this, you know, yet again. Scott Snyder is going to kind of take over. I'm sorry, take it up in the what is it called? Not Injustice. I forgot what the new title is going to kind of be rebooted, you know, in a sense. But yeah, again, Deathstroke coming up in this one story arc here, and man, pretty good stuff overall, man. I really enjoy the dialogue, the interaction between the teammates, which I didn't really see before in the previous run. So yeah, Justice League, it's done a lot better. Okay, next up, Batman. So I was able to pick up cover A. None of my LCS picked up cover B, which is the corresponding Catwoman. So yeah, this was a pretty cool issue, you know, so this is not the marriage issue yet. This is a little bit more of background, and they kind of went back and forth, you know, so they went over their first meeting. Of course, the first meeting, Batman remembered something different from Catwoman. And this is kind of like delves into that just a little bit more. They kind of go over their encounters throughout the years, and they kind of start, you know, noticing that, you know, this is yet the same thing again and again, and the only thing that's changing is the costumes. So you have a pretty cool, you know, lead up to her selecting her bridal dress, you know, based on the previous encounters, and they acknowledge that, you know, all these previous reincarnations of them throughout the years of DC, you know, it all happened. So yeah, pretty cool how they kind of like tie everything in. You know, I think again, Tom King is doing a great job in the storytelling, in my opinion. You know, I'm going to pick up Batman pretty much all in trade and read through it all. But man, great job so far, Tom King. I think I've read maybe about 20 issues of Batman so far. Okay, next up again from DC, I picked up 2 copies of Cover A. And I'm sorry, there's only 1 cover on this one, but The Curse of Brimstone. So this is yet another new hero coming out of the new age of heroes. This was yet another title that I felt was another great, you know, initiative by DC. You know, this was a great title in my opinion, great artwork, and I know that these new heroes are really based on the artwork so far. But man, I thought this artwork really fit with this character and the storytelling that's coming up. So, you know, you have this really, you know, average kid, you know, average just, you know, middle America. You know, I think they're in the Beltland somewhere, and you know, so he's just an average kid who gets these powers. There's more of like a cult that kind of comes in, and you know, he makes a deal with the devil, you know, so to speak. You know, just based on this handshake, he picked up these powers. And you know, this was a great issue so far to start it off. You know, but I wish there was like just a little bit more. You know, so this was a pretty good issue. I'm going to pick it up going on number 2 on. I did subscribe to one of my LCS already for this one, I believe. But yeah, pretty good storyline. They really kicked it off number 1 so far, but man, it's just not enough to know if it's going to be good or not. But if, in my opinion, it looks like it will be a pretty good storyline here. Okay, last up for you, I have Superman. So Superman, yet another title that I pick up in trade. Similar to Bat Avenger, man, I love the verses, and this really reminds me of the Justice League cartoon shows. Why I love that that matchup, the lineup that they put on a lot of these covers. So yeah, so similar to Bat Avenger, man, I love those. So I picked this one up just for the cover. Again, I pick up this one all in trade. So guys, that is going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.